So that was my nighttime sky they did, and it's through my bedroom window as a teen, and there's my bed and end table with a book on it, and it's going to be a picture of a gecko face in there. And this is from Watercolor Secrets, and it's the sky thing. And I didn't do it exactly like he did, because I didn't actually like the when he added the black, so I didn't. So anyway, that's James's meal for today. And this is the painting that I finished with the stormy sky. And Max is hunched over, so her back could be, I think, about there. And she has her foot up. And I'm going to be reviewing Escape at Dannemora, because yesterday my camera batteries went dead, so I didn't get a chance to. The Brothers Grimsby, Atonement, Haunted Mansion, Strays, Hope Gap, Charlie Chan in Honolulu, About My Father, and Drunk Parents. And there's so many things wrong with this. I tried to redo the sky, and I just ended up with more stripes, and I still didn't get the rain to fall from the cloud when I tried to add a dark layer to fall into the light. It didn't work out. But
you got the eye.
That's not the worst of it.
Well.
Yeah, I know, but I have his leg all wonky. Like, his knee is there, but he has an extra joint or something. Like, his foot should be here. So I'm gonna have to fix that somehow, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. I guess it's gonna be a mixed media thing.
This one works pretty well.
Yeah, that one looks good so far. We'll see what I mess up on that one, but you know what? It's I'm happy with all of them.
Well, you gotta learn. There's Maxie scratching her head.
Yeah.
When she did that, it was a production. She was as mad as a hornet.
Yeah,
she'd be screaming.
Yeah, she always wanted people to scratch her head.
Yeah.
And she wanted constant attention. It wasn't just scratch my head for a minute. No.
Yeah, she was quite the character. You know, like people who think animals don't have any character, they don't know birds really at all.
Anyway.
Even chickens have their own character.
I guess so. Parrots, wow, they're something.
We had one in Africa. We called her Annabelle the Cannibal because she just loved slaughtering bait. She'd come around and be eating the guts and stuff like that of her fellow chickens. We were children. We were quite disgusted about that.
I'm sure, yeah.
What the heck? It is what it is.
Yep. All right.
Chickens aren't that far from dinosaurs, I figure.
I have quite a stack to get through, I guess, because I was up all night painting, and like I did sleep for a little while. But then I woke up and I watched 3 movies and painted, well, this and the other one. It's good to have 2 going at the same time, because if you're doing watercolors, you can't do things next to each other.
You gotta wait.
You gotta wait until they dry, right? And so it takes a long time. Just waiting. You know, you have to hurry through the process while you're doing it so that it blends together nicely, and then you have to wait. Yeah. So it's good to have a couple going at the same time. Anyway.
Yeah, that's I think why I don't like watercolors. It's I'm not good at hurrying at stuff.
Yeah.
I like to take my time.
Well, yeah. Anyway. It's good to learn.
It is.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is an incredible story. I don't know if they actually...
it actually happened?
No, it happened. But I don't know if it happened exactly as portrayed in the movie, because how can they know? But I'm not going to give it away, so I'm going to review this last. I'm going to say it's definitely worth watching, and like at first I was watching thinking she wouldn't sleep with the, like, it's a a woman who she's, I guess, supervising prison inmates who are doing sewing pants or shirts or whatever they do, right? So she's supervising them, and she ends up sleeping with 2 guys that are prison inmates, and I mean, these are bad guys. Really bad.
Well, Dannemora is renowned. It's high security, right?
Yeah.
So, is it in New York State or something like that? Attica in upstate New York is the one I can remember about. They had a horrible, about 1970, a horrible, not a prison breakout, but a rebellion, and they took over the prison and stuff like that. I think some people died, including guards. And in that situation, my sympathies, I'm sorry, folks, well, the idiots out there, my sympathies are with the guards in a situation
well,
like
then
that.
I'm thinking, you know, I guess there's people that fall in love with mass murderers or something in jail.
Oh yeah, they get fan, yeah,
you know,
they get fan clubs and stuff like that. Oh, so, you're innocent, all this sort of stuff. So.
And anyway, but then later on in the movie, it's like, it's obvious, yeah, she did. And it becomes, anyway, I'm going to talk about this at the end of the show, so if you haven't watched this yet, do watch it. And
so this is, she's portraying the woman who gets, yeah, okay.
And I mean, that's Patricia Arquette, right? She's so super hot, and she's looking like pretty dumpy, and and you know, I mean, she still looks good because she's Patricia Arquette, right? But anyway, most people would say, oh, she's not a knockout, but you know, to prison inmates, she'd be a 10 no matter what, right? Like
I suppose now is Benicio. This is Benicio del Toro.
Yeah,
I only know him from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He got packed on the pounds for that.
Yeah.
And Paul Dano, these are both bad guys?
Well, they're prisoners.
Well,
yeah.
Almost,
and
I think it's a high security
It's
prison.
really well done, because while you're watching this, you're like, oh, well, they're people, you know, like he, the Mexican guy, what's his name? I can't remember now.
Benicio del Toro.
Well, yeah, but
the character
is Richard Matt, maybe, or something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, he does beautiful paintings. He wouldn't have messed up that leg or made this ugly cloud that he couldn't fix.
Well, after doing a lot of work.
And it shows in the movie, it shows him working, and he's doing from a photo, and he's doing it upside down, right? He's painting, and that's the way to do it.
Well, for most people.
That's the best way to go. So, somebody did the research on that to, you know, have him actually doing it the way you would do it. So, honestly, I think they did a lot of good research for that. And there's some parts where I don't know that they got it right. And I think it's, you know, with Patricia Arquette's character, the character she's playing, I don't know that they read her motivation right, but they give enough information at the end that you're like, oh yeah, I can totally see this happening, right? So, and I'll talk about that later, if I get a chance. The Brothers Grimsby. And this is a story where, I mean, Sacha Baron Cohen is not, most people wouldn't consider him a heartthrob anyway, but he's not looking so good in this. He's looking,
oh my God.
So it's kind of funny. And but yeah, it has what's her face in it, and Penelope Cruz, and she looks amazing, but she's a bad guy in this. So this there's a plot to kill off the amiable people of the world, the workers, you know, a lot of people that they're they're portraying them as they're trying to kill off the
soccer fan kind of people that are just dumpy waste to society kind of thing. They're collecting welfare and having too many children and all this, right? So I'm amazed that they actually made this movie and they managed to make it funny. And there's a lot of, I mean, people might say it's homophobic sort of humor, but there's a whole lot of
heterophobic humor too.
Well, there's a lot of jokes about sexual nature stuff, and anyway, it's funny. It's funny. So, what do you want?
He's flying around and he's got a gut.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
That's
awesome.
hilarious.
I mean, this is an awesome cover, right?
Yeah.
I should say that. The good job on the cover. I mean, he has a beer in one hand, and it's just great, right? So,
yeah, that's even better. There used to be a group, kind of a parody of superhero things, but it was a comic book.
Oh, and I like that he's wearing flip-flops. And, I mean, or slippers a lot of the time. Like, it's just silly, right?
Yeah.
But whatever. Atonement. Now, I didn't care for the movie because I don't care for drama sort of blah stuff. But I was busy painting and it was fine. And the actors did a good job. And for the type of movie that it was, they did a good job. So that's why it got there.
Well, it's Keira Knightley looking a little bit different.
Sure.
James McAvoy?
Yeah.
I don't really recognize him.
Haunted Mansion. This was a Disney thing. And honestly, too scary for kids. I was watching it and going, I would have had nightmares like crazy watching this thing. Too much. Too scary for kids. But then I don't think it would interest parents that much, or adults. So honestly, I think they kind of missed the mark on this one. And I could see they did, the special effects were great, the set was amazing, the whatever, you know, it was
voiceovers,
good Disney quality that way, but yeah, I honestly expected more. I guess that's it. So, Strays.
Yeah, DeVito's in it.
Yeah. This one's it just has the voice of Will Ferrell and the voice of Jamie Foxx. They're playing dogs, and this is an R-rated dog movie. So there's I watched the extras and stuff too, and honestly, the extras in this, oh so worth watching. The extras in this, no, it's just like people, the actors and stuff talking about, oh, I really wanted to work on this movie because da-da-da-da-da-da, I don't care, you know, so it was really boring to watch. And the movie was funny. It was funny enough. The big dog, the person who was doing the voice for the big dog kind of had a Homoslavian accent, which didn't fit the character because he's supposed to be in love with the Australian Shepherd, which she, even as a voice actor, she was not good. I think the makers said, well, we got Will Ferrell and Jamie Foxx. Who cares who else we get, right? For the other dogs, because we know we're going to win with those two.
So whose voice is it?
Well, they kind of, I don't know. I watched at the extras at the end, or listened to them mostly, but I looked up and she was like this bombshell Australian woman. And it's like, okay, but you're just using her voice.
You don't see bombshell.
You don't see bombshell. So why did you get her? You could have got anyone else. Honestly, you could have got anyone else. You could have just grabbed some woman with an Australian accent off the street and said, here, read these lines, and you probably would have got a better voice actor.
Why didn't they just try a dingo?
Anyway, but it was funny.
The dogs are cute.
And the dogs are cute. But I mean, I wasn't watching it that much. I was listening to it mostly because that's what I do. So, Hope Gap. We've reviewed a Bill Nye movie recently and mentioned that we always love seeing him. And he plays a different character in this one.
One that doesn't strip down?
He does not. But,
holy smokes!
Or at least I didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't even hear anything that sounded like he was stripping down. So
he hasn't put the weight on, though.
It has Annette Bening in it, and I didn't think she was British. Isn't she American?
Well, she married Warren Beatty.
I mean, it sounded totally convincing to me. So, good job for her that way. But this movie just creeped me out like crazy because here she's totally abusive to him. They're a couple in this, and they've been together for a long time, right? And she's like, nothing that he says is ever right, and he's like, I could totally, anyway, she started leaving, he decided, like, she's like, oh, something's got to change, you know, we're not talking this and that, we're this and that, and she's just complaining about him, she's saying he's not communicating enough. Well, whenever he tries to communicate, she shoots him down, you know, so why would he try, right? Like, he's just constantly abused by her verbally, and then she slaps him, and he ends up leaving.
That's unacceptable for women to slap men, just like.
And then afterwards, she's leaving notes around the house, hoping that he's gonna, like, where he would look for them, hoping that he's gonna come back and find the notes and stuff. And it's like, oh my gosh, because I can relate to that. My ex was supposed to be, I'd leave the house because he was saying, I'm coming over to get my stuff out. Okay, I'd leave the house so he could come over and get his stuff out, and he was not.
For hours,
he would not. He would leave notes around the house in places, and then he'd ask me later, Did you find it? No, I didn't. You know, I tell him, no, I haven't found, because I didn't want to tell him, oh yeah, I found it. So, you know.
Well, anyway, we're turning up. It seemed like years later. You didn't find all of them.
Well, yeah, probably not.
There's probably still some.
Anyway,
hanging around.
It'd be in like the pocket of a coat or something like that, or in a whatever.
Yeah.
So then she gets a dog and she names it after her husband, and she's like bringing the dog around to. She says she's only going to go sign the papers. He's giving her the house. So the lawyer is like, you're getting way more than you would get in a normal settlement. Just sign, you know? And she's like, well, am I getting as much as if he died? And the lawyer's like, no, you'd get the bank account and whatever. And she's like, oh, well, I'd rather he was dead then, you know? And it's like, wow. And we're supposed to feel sympathetic towards her, I think, in this movie. She's awful. She's abusive. Charlie Chan in Honolulu. Now, I don't know, is this guy... He doesn't look Asian. There are Asian people in this. It's, I think it was black and white. I can't remember. You know, it's funny because I just watched it, but you know how I watch movies. Anyway, it should say in here somewhere. Yeah, black and white. 1938. There were some Asian people in this, though none of the actors were good in this. The monkey. There was a monkey in this. The monkey was a good actor. He was chucking coconuts at a lion. Awesome monkey. But, you know, maybe they could redo the Charlie Chan things now. I don't know. Maybe not. I can't think of anybody that would do a good job anyway. But the mystery, I guess the mystery wasn't too bad. About my father. James really likes Robert De Niro. I'm not a huge fan, but there were some funny jokes in this. But honestly, I just really couldn't relate that much to anyone and didn't care to. I didn't like the narration style of the movie. It felt like Robert De Niro was just in this movie because maybe he owed somebody a favor or something. I don't know. Drunk Parents. Alec Baldwin, Salma Hayek. Bottom of the stack. When I would put this on last night, James,
you were enthused.
I was like, "This how?" He said, "How's the movie?" And I said, "Well, it just started." But it's, I mean, how can it not be great? Because these guys are in it, right? And James like, "Oh yeah, Alec Baldwin's great," and I was like, "Yeah, well, Salma Hayek, she's great too." Nope. The movie was bad. I don't even know why it was called Drunk Parents. Yeah, at one point they were drunk. But, and, you know, maybe they drank a little bit more than, I don't know. I think they drank as much as one would expect they would drink in that sort of situation that they were in, where they were thinking, oh, well, we're going to lose everything. And they were, you know, they were wealthy. And then all of a sudden everything's going wrong. Things are going horribly wrong. But I couldn't relate to these people. They're not good. Will Ferrell was in this movie, and I guess he was funny enough, but he just had a little bit part, and honestly, it just didn't work. There were a lot of crazy things happening, and it should have been funnier. Like, if I were reading the script, I'd be like, oh yeah, this should work. It didn't. It didn't work.
I'm not sure if Salma Hayek is made for humorous.
I don't know if she is. Yeah, maybe that was part of the problem. Yeah, I'm not sure. But all of the characters were awful people. Awful.
Like, Lucille Ball was good looking, and she was funny. Of course, she played Cook.
So, I'm going to give some stuff away about this now. The Escape at Dannemora. So I'm going to look at the time here, so I remember to, yeah, to give a spoiler alert. So that I'm at about 23 minutes in. So, yeah. So what ends up happening with this is these two guys end up getting out of prison. They escape, and this escape, nobody had done it in like 100 years or something like that, like a long time. So, but
well, that's encouraging. Really, it sounds even better than Alcatraz. I think one person tried to escape from there. Well, I think one person did escape, maybe.
But this young man, like, they're portraying her relationship with him as sort of motherly, right? Like, they're kind of making out like it's almost like her sleeping with her son or wanting to, which is really, I don't think that was the case at all.
In real life?
No. That's not my interpretation of things, just given the information from the movie that I can take. And anyway, so they're having this relationship. Well, she's the supervisor, I guess, of the paid person. He's the inmate who he knows the ropes, he knows how to fix the machines and stuff like that. He knows all sorts of things. So she relies on him to be able to keep things going. And they're making quotas, meeting the quotas and stuff like that, which is, wow, do they really have quotas for, how can you make any paid person make the inmates keep the quotas? That's realistic. That's terrible. So that's stressful for her.
So they're helping to pay for their wait.
Yeah, which is great, but how can you have that expectation on the employee?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Got a point
so
there.
that's stressful for her.
don't believe in that. Like, people in prison should clean up their place and that sort of stuff. But they shouldn't be working for capitalists or anything like that. It's too much like slave labor.
So he's taken out of there because there's rumors that she's sleeping with him, which, yeah, I think she totally was, given what ends up happening. So she has a new person she's supposed to rely on. They've picked the warden or whatever, her supervisors have picked somebody to replace him, and she's like, he's not suitable, he doesn't know this stuff. And all you see him, and all he's doing is like smoking in the room. And so she's one man short at a sewing machine, and he's not doing anything. And he's saying, oh, well, she's not training me. Well, she said, well, I gave him as much training as I give everyone else. And they're telling her, well, that's not enough. And it's like, why did you make her pick him? You know, he's not suitable. She said that. And anyway, so she's stressed out. And this guy is offering to send notes back and forth for her to him and whatever, right? And he sees his opportunity to get in with the both of them, really. Like, he's already friends with him because he wants to learn how to draw and paint like this guy. This guy's a really good artist. So he's friends with him, and then he decides to try to get in her good graces, and he gets a picture of her dogs from him and does a painting and gives it to her, and he starts this relationship with her. Well, because she can't see him anymore. Well, I don't think that they really had a connection or anything like that. He was opportunistic, right? He saw this guy's really smart, and he would be able to figure out, he fixes everything and whatever. He'll be able to figure out how to get out of prison. If anyone will, it's him. He sees it. He knows, right? And he knows, if I can get with her and get, you know, work the situation, I can get out too, right? So I think that's what happened. So anyway, when you see at the end, like at first I was like, why would this happen? And she's being portrayed as like a really stupid, lying slut, honestly. She has a husband, and he's portrayed as stupid and like a Joe, right? A really amiable person. He's somebody says he's, I think it's the son, her son says he's loyal. That's how he describes him, and he is. But you see her story at the end. Ben Stiller did a great job of laying out the story so that you see or whoever laid out the story, I guess, for this. I guess he didn't, he directed and produced, whatever, but whoever laid it out so that you see the people's stories at the end. You see